Welcome back to Birds of a Feather. This is your daily Baltimore sports podcast, and today we've got a lot of stuff to go over regarding this Orioles game. The Orioles did go out here and get a 7-3 win over the Los Angeles Angels, and that also means that they won the series over the Angels. That is now 3 total series wins on the year for the Orioles. They go out here, they get a win in the rubber match, and everything that I was talking about what they needed to do, they kind of went out there and executed it today. Gunnar Henderson had a big 2-run home run that kind of put the nail in the coffin for this game. But they also did a great job of just producing runs this game. They were scoring with runners in scoring position. They were having some very timely hits. And Zach Eflin also made his return today, and he went out there. He got the win. Got through 5 innings, gave up 2 runs across 5 innings, and Zach Eflin is back. The Zach Eflin that we know and love is officially back, and the Ravens might also be back. They got the series win today. They might start to look to get back on track here soon. They have a day off tomorrow before they go back home and play the Twins. So this was a very important series to go out and win. Let's just get right into it. So going over this Orioles win, again, they win 7-3 over the Angels. They're 15-24 on the year. They're still 9 games below 500. There still is a lot that this team needs to do to get back into the season. They're still in a hole, and they still got a long ways to go before they can, feel comfortable about where they are, because they're nowhere near being comfortable of where they are this season. They still have one of the worst records in baseball, but going out here and getting this win, and going out here and getting this series win as well, is huge for this team moving forward. I said this after the Cleveland series. I said this after the Yankee series. Maybe all it takes is just one series win to get this team going, because the morale seems there, especially today. The morale seemed there. The energy seemed there. The team seems glued together, and they seem like they're there, but they just haven't been performing like they needed to. But they went out and got the win today, a huge win over the Angels to win the series for the Orioles. So that's always nice to go out there and win a series and win it in a rubber match game. There was a lot of good things going on in this game. The pitching was good. The offense was good. It was an overall great win, a 7-3 win over the Angels. And starting off with this offense, they go out there, they get 8 total hits, score 7 runs, and we changed up the line. We changed the lineup once again. Obviously, Brandon Hyde loves to change the lineup every single day, but he did the right thing. He moved Cedric Mullins all the way down to the 8-hitter. Obviously, Cedric Mullins was leading off for us, or was in like the top 3 in our in our hitting for quite a while this year. But obviously, he was on an 0-for-20 streak, so we did move him down. We moved him down all the way to the 8-hitter, and he went out there, he did his thing today. Obviously, he had a multi-hit game today, which you love to see from Cedric. But what I like from Brandon Hyde is he is adjusting the lineup, and he is trying to find what he likes. And this offense today went out there and really did their thing. Gunnar Henderson back in the leadoff spot. He goes 2 for 5. He goes 2 for 5 with a home run. He had 2 hits, 2 runs. 2 RBIs as well, obviously the home run. He had a 2-run home run in the 6th inning to really put the nail in the coffin for the Orioles. He had a 2-run home run, had a multi-hit day, also scored. He was the first run that scored in this game because of Adley Rutschman brought him home. Gunnar Henderson, a great game. He's really been heating up a lot. He's really starting to be the Gunnar Henderson that we know and love, and he's really starting to play like that superstar that we know that he is. He goes 2 for 5 again, 2 RBIs and a home run. An absolute missile of a home run as well, shall I say. So Gunnar Henderson went out there, did his thing, 264 average on the year. It slowly keeps getting higher and higher. I remember a few weeks ago whenever that thing was below 200, but he has really stepped it up recently. He's really done his thing, and Gunnar Henderson may be back, ladies and gentlemen. But going to the number 2 hitter, and this was a little surprising, but we did this really just because of the pitching matchup. Obviously, there was a lefty on the mound today in Tyler Anderson for the Angels, but we went out and put Tyler O'Neill as the number 2 hitter. And Tyler O'Neill obviously just came back from his little 2-week injury stint that he had with the neck inflammation. He came back the other day. He actually came back at the beginning of the series. But Tyler O'Neill, he went out there in was that the 2-hole hitter. He was the 2-hitter. He goes 0 for 3 with 2 walks, so he did get on base twice, but he did go hitless. Ryan Mountcastle with a multi-hit day. There was 4 different Orioles, by the way, who had multiple hits, and the 4 Orioles that had multiple hits were also the only 4 Orioles that accounted for any hits on the day. So Ryan Mountcastle was one of those players. He goes 2 for 4 with an RBI, and someone who you really like to see go out there and have a good game, Adley Rutschman, goes 2 for 5 with a RBI. He brought in the first run of the game for the Orioles. He went out there and got the scoring started on the day for the Orioles. Adley Rutschman had a triple in the first inning. He went all the way around the base, got all the way to third. He had a triple that scored Gunnar Henderson. Gunnar Henderson started off with a leadoff double. Adley Rutschman got a triple, brought Gunnar home. That's how the scoring started today for the Orioles. And he kind of had a feeling that it might be a good day for the offense, which it was. So Adley Rutschman, again, one of the players with multiple hits this game, goes 2 for 5, brings in an RBI. His average is now back up to above 200 at a 203. And if this is what it takes for Adley to get back into it, then I think this is what's going to have to happen. I think him being at the 4-hole or maybe even the 5-hole is where he needs to be just because of his recent performances. But Adley Rutschman with a multi-hit game, you love to see it from him. You really want to see him do good. You want to see him get back into his groove because it's really been a while since we've seen him really get into a rhythm. So hopefully this can be the start of that moving forward. Ramon Laureano goes 0 for 4 with a run scored and also a walk. Jackson Holiday goes hitless. He goes 0 for 4. Emmanuel Rivera goes hitless. He goes 0 for 3 with 2 runs scored. And then Cedric Mullins, once again, same kind of thing with Adley Rutschman, who they both started off the year pretty well, but they have been struggling immensely recently. Cedric Mullins was on an 0 for 20 streak, and he broke that today. He broke that twice, actually, today by getting 2 hits. He goes 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored as well. So there was only 4 different players on this team that actually got hits today for the Orioles, but Gunnar Henderson had 2 hits and a home run. Ryan Mountcastle had 2 hits, and he drove in a run. Adley Rutschman had 2 hits, and he drove in a run. And Cedric Mullins had 2 hits, and he scored 2 runs as well. So Cedric, Adley, Ryan, and Gunnar really putting in the work today for this Orioles offense. It was really just them versus the world. But Cedric Mullins went out there, did his thing. Again, you like to see him get a multi-hit game. He was on a little bit of a slump, but we'll see if that slump will end and he can maybe start going into a rhythm just like Adley could hopefully, go into rhythm as well. And then Michael Handley, he also he went 0 for 2, but he had 2 sacrifice flies in this game. So Michael Handley, 2 sacrifice hits. He had a sacrifice ground out and a sacrifice fly. So Maverick Handley went out there and really did his thing. He brought in 2 runs, and obviously those 2 runs were huge because it was only a 4-run game. But Maverick Handley did his thing, brought in 2 runs. You love to see it, especially from a guy who you don't really see a lot. Obviously, when Gary Sanchez comes back, he's probably going to get moved down to AAA. But it's really nice to see him get those timely hits in and just do a job for the team and just go out there, do a job, and bring in some runs. So the offense overall, they did their thing. They scored 7 runs on 8 hits. They also got walked 5 times, so they got on base quite a lot. They went 3 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Obviously, they were getting on base a lot. There was a lot of opportunities, and they only, hit on 3 of those, but it was enough for them to go out and win because the hits were just really timely and really big. And going down over to the pitching, which obviously Zach Eflin made his return today after almost a month of being gone. Zach Eflin was out with that lat strain that he had. Zach Eflin, again, the best pitcher on this team. Him and Tomoyuki Sugano are the 2 powerhouses of this pitching staff. They've been doing great all year, both of them. And Zach Eflin, in his return, goes out there. He was on a little bit of a limit just because it was his first game back. We don't want to overuse him. So I think Brandon Hyde kind of gave him like an 85 pitch limit or maybe, like a 5-inning pitch limit. But Zach Eflin goes out there. He gets the win. He's 3-1 on the year. He goes 5 innings, gives up 5 hits and 2 runs. 2 walks as well, but also gets 5 strikeouts and doesn't give up a home run. His ERA is at a 3.13. He's been amazing all season long. He gave up 2 runs in the first inning, so the Orioles were actually down 2-1 after the first inning, but the Orioles were able to answer back, then make it 3-2, and then 7-2, and then the Angels scored a run late in the 9th inning that didn't really matter. But Zach Eflin gave up 2 runs in the first, but then bunkered down for the next 4 innings. Got through 5. Love to see from Zach Eflin. Him and Tomoyuki Sagano are the 2 powerhouses of this pitching, and hopefully they can both keep it up. Because if them both can keep pitching the way that they are, and guys like Dean Kramer and Cade Povich can kind of settle down, then this Orioles and this offense can also maybe start to catch a rhythm. Then this Orioles team could be in for a treat and could start getting a lot of wins here soon, and digging themselves out of this hole that they're in. Because at this point, that's all you really need to focus on is just getting out of this hole that they're in. Again, there's still 9 games below 500, but if they can go out, go back home, and then beat the Twins at home, maybe get win 2 out of 3, or even sweep that series. Again, that'll just be back-to-back series wins, and they can move on. They can just move on. They can move forward, and things will be a-okay with this team because, again, all they need to focus on right now is just getting back to 500 and getting back into the division race and, getting back into a playoff race. It is still early for a playoff race, but just getting back in the division race and just making sure that you can control what you can control. But it's going to start with the Orioles winning some games and winning some series, which they did today. Sir Anthony Dominguez goes out the bullpen. He doesn't give up a run. Brian Baker doesn't give up a run. Ynier Cano doesn't give up a run. Felix Bautista comes in at the end of the game. He hasn't pitched in a while. He does give up a run. He gives up a home run to Matt Lugo, but he came into the game with a 5-run lead. So he got through the inning, closed out the game. Didn't get the save obviously because it wasn't a safe scenario, but went out there, closed out the game for us. Gave up a run, but it was fine. It didn't really matter anyway. But the Orioles do get a huge win over the Angels. They win the series. They can move forward with this, use this as momentum moving forward, and just keep winning games, keep winning series, and just dig themselves out of this hole and get back into a good position. And now just going over and looking at the schedule for this team moving forward. Obviously, with the Orioles, they do have a day off tomorrow on Monday. But they do return on Tuesday, where they're going at home, a little 6-game homestand for the Orioles, where they're playing Minnesota and then Washington. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So this week and this weekend, they do have a series, and the pitchers for that series are already set. Obviously, we did just see Minnesota, literally the series before this Angels series in Minnesota, which Minnesota did sweep us. So hopefully we can go out there and perform a little bit better than what we did the last time that we played them. And hopefully we can go out there and at least win 2 out of 3, hopefully sweep, and just win another series and kind of get the revenge from what they just saw us. Obviously we did just see this team, so we should be pretty familiar with them. We have Cade Povich pitching on Tuesday, Dean Kramer pitching on Wednesday, and then Tomoyuki Sagano pitching on Thursday. So hopefully in either the Povich or the Kramer game, they can win at least one of those 2 games, and then hopefully they can go out there and win with Sagano on the mound and then take that series. And then they play Washington with Gibson, Eflin, and Povich. So again, they just got to start winning games. They got to start winning series and just moving forward with that, digging themselves out of this hole and just moving forward on the season. So thank you guys so much for tuning into and listening to this episode of Birds of a Feather, whether you're on Spotify or YouTube. I appreciate all the support. Make sure to follow up on Spotify, sub up on YouTube if you like this content. And the Orioles have a day off tomorrow, but they will be back on Tuesday for that series against Minnesota at home. So, big game for the Orioles, big series win, big win in general. 9 games below 500, trying to dig themselves out of this hole. But it's going to be a long journey, but we are here for the long run with this Orioles team. My name is Nathan Stroud. Thank you guys so much again for listening to this episode. I'll be back with the next episode on Tuesday, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. You have a great rest of y'all's night. Peace out.